and show you what would happen with length-tension relationship. So the thing that they're asking for and they're demonstrating here is that we've changed the length of the amount of passive tension that's being applied to the muscle fiber. And you're going to want to measure the peak of each of these different peaks that you have here. If you don't have 3, if you just have 1, then just measure what you have. I'm going to zoom in between these just to get a little bit closer into the scale. But let's first go back to the rubric and see what they want us to do. Generate a graph documenting the force on the y-axis at each muscle length along the x-axis. Did you reach your optimal length in your experiment, and how do you set that up? Alright, so the first part that we're going to want to do is be able to put the 2 cursors so that we're measuring from peak to trough on each of these different points. So for example, this cursor is placed here, this one's here. We can note the voltage, or the V2 minus V1 tells us the contraction force here at 0.915. So what I would do is just write that number down physically, and then move this over, and then get the next one. That's close to the top there. And that's pretty close. You can use a little cursor button, or the arrows to kind of get it lined up there. Okay, 0.885, and then you can get the next one there and continue on. And you add those up and you can get the average for this particular length. Then what you did is that you added another length to it. You added some more tension to it. You can see that in how this is a force transducer. When you cranked on it and added tension passive tension to that muscle, it went up a little bit. And so now we can place this cursor here at the bottom and the top, and this cursor close to where we have it here. But you know, it may have. And then here it looks like, and you continue to do the process. One thing that you can see though is that the peaks here look taller than they do here, They're kind of getting smaller and smaller. So this is probably closer to our optimum amount of tension that we have on the muscle for our contraction that we have. What the experimenters did here is that they ended up loosening it by 1 turn here and taking some measurements to see how tall they are here. And my bet is that that is not looking that good there as far as the height, and we can just check and see how it compares to our first one. Here at 0.802, this is a lot lower than what we had over when we started over here when we had 0.9 whatever. So, so this indicates after we measure the V2 minus V1 of each of these different peaks, starting from that pedestal that they are at. So if I wanted to measure the contraction force here, I would place 1 cursor just before that peak there, and then I can actually modify the website and see what we have here. So I am going to do that right now. So documents. When you it's not in there. Alright, so tune into the next video where I'll show you how to plug it into the Excel spreadsheet.